So, tell me something terrible. Do y'all have past part 4?
Absolutely not.
No? Okay.
No.
Were you on a pivot to a different topic?
Yep, we're going to go a little lighthearted, silly, local.
Terrific. Those are some of my... Unsolved?
No.
Okay, good. See,
crime.
this is like all my favorite. No crime?
No crime.
Ooh.
Yep.
Really going off the... Not off the rails. Off topic? Off brand? I don't know.
Well, I mean, like, there's still some terrible stuff in here.
Yeah, we like to leave it open-ended like
A little bit full circle, actually.
Good.
Yeah, I thought, this would be a good one to start, off year 2 with.
Oh, this is our first podcast. Yeah.
1.
Thanks to everyone who showed up for the live.
Yeah.
While we ate hot wings, hot one style.
Mm-hmm. And Scott's one ear turned very red.
It did. If you didn't see it, it's still up on our Facebook. I think it'll stay up there permanently.
I have no fucking clue.
Anywho, it's still
Facebook
up there
so much, so I don't pay attention.
But it is like an hour long, so Godspeed.
Yeah, and we found out that there is something worse than listening to yourself talk. It's watching yourself eat.
Yeah. You had that problem. I don't care. I was like,
I leaned off screen. I was like, this is not something. I got a little bit of like an eating issue. Yeah. That's not.
Don't want to see yourself.
Yeah. Like, cool. I'm never going out in public to eat at restaurants with people again. How are people friends with us?
I need an 8-foot tall booth. If you guys don't have those, I'm not coming to your restaurant.
Those partitions from COVID, could you spray paint that black?
Right. Yeah.
Thanks.
Anyway.
Oh.
Did you want to get started?
Yeah, I suppose. Hi, I'm Tiffany.
I'm Scott.
And you're listening to Tell Me Something Terrible.
Yeah, you are.
Look at us go.
Year 2.
Year 2.
I'm glad we didn't do seasons. That's an option when you do podcasts, but
yeah, but
we would have done like a season and then taken like a 6-week break and then like a season and then probably never started back up again. So
probably. Although like I'm getting busy enough that might be like a thing we might have to do. We'll see. Maybe I'll manage my time better and not be such a slacker. So we're going local.
Okay.
We're going folklore.
Terrific.
Kind of cryptidy.
Okay.
Any ideas yet?
We live in the Irish Hills. How local are you talking? Michigan or local?
Michigan. Southern Michigan.
Not Dogman. We did him.
Yep. He's northern.
Southern Michigan, so it's not Bessie.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Or the Melonheads.
Or the Melonheads.
Yeah, they're up north.
So I guess I don't know.
Nain Rouge.
Okay. Yeah. I've heard it. Don't know anything about it.
Okay.
I've heard the name.
So, legend has it. According to a historian named Marie Hamlin, who wrote Legends of Le Detroit, published in 1883. She's French.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Detroit's French.
She wasn't trying to be bougie. Detroit?
Yeah, sure. It means the Straits.
I assume that's why people call it Detroit.
People call it Detroit?
I've heard it called Detroit.
All right.
If it was pronounced French, it wouldn't be Detroit.
No, you're right.
It would be Detroit.
There's a lot of weird things. Like I Googled how to say Tecumseh.
Yeah.
Apparently, we're split across the nation, whether it's Tecumseh or Tecumseh.
Streets in.
Now you're already
French.
Googling something?
Yeah. Les Rouges.
Okay. No, it's the Straits.
Oh, I thought you said the streets.
No, the Straits, like the river, like the Straits.
Gotcha.
Okay. Anyway, while he's Googling something, our story starts on a fateful night in March.
Le Detroit.
See? Look at me go. It's
Hold
like
on.
I read a bunch about this.
I want this lady to...
Le Détroit.
See? Look at that.
Aw.
Le Détroit.
Oh, well, now we get to walk around. Now you know. You'll really sound like an asshole if you go down to downtown Detroit and be like, oh, look, Le Detroit. People will be like, get the fuck out. Who are you?
Right? If I call it Target, you'll hit me, but Le Detroit, and you're like, that's acceptable.
So there was a fateful night in March of 1701.
Okay.
In the prepubescent city of Quebec, Canada.
Prepubescent?
Yeah, they don't even have a fort yet. Oh, I think they might have just had a fort. Like, they're not really a city yet. You know, they're working on it.
Like, walking's tough still.
Yeah, so there's a gathering of French explorers, fur traders, and budding governing officials. They sat around a table, feasting and getting wine drunk from the building's noted cellars.
Terrific.
Yep.
It's a good way to spend a night.
So the night's entertainment was a Marie-Monique Le Sorcière.
Huh?
Sorceress.
Oh.
Just a fortune-telling crone.
Okay.
She's described as a woman of unusual height, a dark, swarthy complexion, restless, glittering eyes, strangely fashioned garments, yet in harmony with her face. She's decked out in fancy robes, and she had a black cat perched on her shoulder that kept licking her ears. So the more superstitious members of the group thought that it may have been the devil giving her information.
Okay.
So she was there either to provide fortune-telling entertainment and palm readings, or she burst into the party in the middle of the evening to proclaim her prophecy. Multiple legends. Those are both versions of it. So
I
either
like how they're like, she was tall. Gasp.
and there's a black cat
On her shoulder,
on her
though?
shoulder.
That's like, if you
Yeah.
make that entrance anywhere, like even today.
Well,
people would be
crazy.
like-
We had a cat that would ride on your
yeah,
shoulders.
you didn't bust into like the gas station with him on your shoulder. So
No,
while he's
but do you remember
licking
that
your
one
ear-
person at Uncle John's?
Yeah, cider mill.
Yeah, who had
just
the cat?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Made a scene, and that cat wasn't whispering sweet nothings into his ear. He was
No.
just walking around an orchard
Yeah.
with a cat on him. Like,
Yeah.
no biggie.
I had a cat that was like that. She used to ride in my convertible with me because my first car was a convertible, which
Yeah.
sounds bougie, except it was a piece of shit. Never had to get an oil change because every 2 weeks I was putting a fresh quart of oil in it.
Right?
Oh, the good old days.
Or just leaking into the water you were drinking. Don't know what happened.
That artesian well, I would just drink straight from the tap.
Yeah.
Like
That
from
you-
not the tap, the source, like
you
out of
parked-
the bubbling hole in the
That you
ground.
parked your leaky ass car right on top of.
No, it was like 10 feet away.
Yeah, perfect.
You're right. Look, it's an issue.
No big deal.
Anyway, so either way, she had a prophecy to proclaim.
Yep.
Either story you would adhere to, the night ended. Oh no, the bird.
Oh, we got a bird podcast.
Oh no.
We may anyway.
We have to pause for the
We might.
cause. So, in the middle, the night ended with the fur trader Antoine de la Mothe Cadillac being
Okay.
told of the riches and glory that he will obtain with the founding and authority over an up and coming new city. But he needed to heed her warning not to get too big for his britches, or he will befall misfortune. His children will inherit nothing, and he would live his life in shame unless he appeases the Nain Rouge through flattery.
Is this where Cadillac, Michigan comes from?
Probably.
Probably.
Definitely Detroit. He was definitely the governing body of Detroit.
Gotcha.
For sure.
All right.
So, fast forward a few years. Antoine de la Mothe Cadillac. I have no clue if I'm pronouncing that properly. Mr. took French.
Just call him Caddy.
Caddy. Right here? Is it Moth?
I would assume so.
Okay. The Moth
It's
Cadillac.
probably Mothe.
Who gives a shit? I mean, other people probably do, but I don't care tonight. So he becomes mayor of Detroit, Michigan. He becomes a father, successful, respected in the community, until he decided to attempt to become Detroit's first slumlord.
Became too big for his britches.
He really did. So he began charging rent to the settlers, requiring them to hand over a chunk of their crops. Traders also had to give up a slice of their income to Cadillac as well. Fellow Detroiters, some even his former supporters, started protesting his position. They were like, this guy fucking sucks.
He's a dick.
Yeah.
Someone needs to take him down a peg.
Yep. And that someone who takes him down a peg is the Nain Rouge.
Okay.
So.
Oh, she doesn't just go. She's not like just at the beginning.
Not
of the
the
story.
sorcerer. No, the sorcerer, the fortune teller, she told him you need to,
Oh, okay.
everything's going to be great, but you need to, make friends with the Nain Rouge. If you encounter them, you need to gain his, like, not trust, but like
Being
liking.
his good grace.
Yes. So, then one night in 1707, the prophecy came true. While walking with his wife one evening through the streets of Detroit, the pair overheard part of a conversation between two other pedestrians, one telling the other that he swore he just saw the Nain Rouge, or that his wife had seen the Nain Rouge a few days prior. Again, it's 300 years ago.
Do you explain what exactly the Nain Rouge is?
Yeah, we're going to get to it.
Okay, I'm like, am I supposed to know what this is? Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to get to it.
I didn't know if there was like an email you sent
right
me.
now.
like some
We're going to get to it
prerequisite.
right now. So Cadillac's wife freaked out, but Cadillac himself shrugged it off. So the pair continued on their merry way until a red, almost metallic, grotesque, imp-like daemon with glistening eyes and razor-sharp, stabby teeth stumbled across their path.
Terrific.
Is that descriptive enough for you?
Yeah, it's
'Kay.
disgusting, kind of.
And so fully disregarding His warning from years ago.
Hey, get out of here, pumpkin.
He
That's a
hit.
gourd joke. Oh, we'll squash that one. Move on.
So he fully disregarded his warning from a few years ago. He hit the Nain Rouge with his walking cane and telling it to get out of his way.
Okay.
And so the Nain Rouge scuttled off with a, quote, fiendish mocking laugh that pierced the still night air, end quote, according to Hamlin, the historian. Mm-hmm. So following the encounter, Cadillac described...
I feel like you described one of the two Hercules, Panic and Pain and
Pain and Panic?
Yeah, whichever one's the fat red one.
I think that one's Pain.
Either way, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's who you described essentially.
With hair, but yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So, following the encounter, Cadillac, described by another historian as a scoundrel who was just a cunning adventurer in search of personal enrichment, his entire life fell apart. Cadillac's superiors were finally fed up with his corruption, and he was removed from his post as the governing body of Detroit. He lost all of his property and income, which left nothing to his children to inherit. And
Terrific.
he was relegated to live a life in Louisiana, which Cadillac considered, quote, a wretched place.
Okay. I mean, I don't know how. No offense to the people of Louisiana. I've never been, but I don't know if it's a wretched. I don't know. What was it? Early 1700s.
Oh my gosh, it was probably miserable. Everything was a swamp.
Hey, at least it was French.
Yeah. It's not much different than here because everything was also French in a swamp in Michigan too.
Yeah.
The only difference is they don't get snow.
Spicier food.
Yeah. Oh no, we can't. Sending a poor Midwest guy down to the south.
Goodness.
He's probably so white.
No, he's used to that Quebec cuisine.
Little slappy mama's gonna take him out.
Right.
And so the Nain Rouge, aka the Daemon of the Straits, became the harbinger of chaos in Detroit. So on July 30th, 1763, the Nain Rouge was spotted near the Detroit River. The next day, 58 British soldiers were killed at the Battle of Bloody Run by Native Americans under Chief Pontiac.
Okay.
It was said that the Nain Rouge was seen dancing among the corpses along the banks of the Detroit River, and the river turning red with blood for days after the battle.
It's pretty tragic.
Yeah.
Very good imagery.
Quite the harbinger of death, right?
Yes. I feel like he'd be singing, like, kind of under his breath. Like
Tiptoe through the tulips. Tiptoe through the tulips.
Like awkwardly proud of himself.
So 40 years later, in the spring of 1805, people saw the Nain Rouge walking through the streets of Detroit.
What year?
1805.
So this thing's been around for like 100 years at that point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Crazy.
And so on June 11th, that same year, a fire burned down most of Detroit to the ground.
All right.
Yep. And then a few years later, at the surrendering of the War of 1812, the surrendering.
The surrendering. At the surrendering. You just got to give everything a little Frenchy twinge to it tonight.
No.
The surrendering.
No. It's mostly because I can write, but you ask me to read and I'm just struggle. My own writing too.
Right?
Just awful.
Oh, we should do a one where you write it and I'll read it to you and you can express.
That sounds great.
I'll do in the next bonus pod so I don't have to write it.
So a few years later, I can't even get through
furious
years.
later.
Jesus, Christ.
A few moments later.
So at the surrendering of the War of 1812, General Hull, who was the only officer in American history to be sentenced to death for military incompetence, he swore that he's
Okay.
quite a
That seems like the lowest of ways to go.
Yeah.
You are so incompetent, we're going to murder you. Like you're going to get
Well, I would imagine he got a lot of people killed because he just sucked so bad at his job.
There's a waiting list for like his firing squad. Sorry.
Just pull it like a raffle, like $20 $20 a card, and then you just pull or $20 a number and see who gets it.
Yep.
So, General Hull swore that he saw the Nain Rouge grinning at him as he surrendered to the British Army. Someone else claims to have seen the Nain Rouge along 12th Street before week-long race riots in 1967. And then 2 utility workers swear they spotted the Nain Rouge scurrying up a power pole on March 1st, 1976.
Just a raccoon.
Does that sound familiar?
Sure.
1976.
You
No?
know I'm so good with dates.
It was right before the Cleveland super bomb hit Michigan.
Oh, okay. You want me to go back exactly 1 year?
Yes. Yes.
Sure don't remember that date. Do you remember 1976?
No, I thought maybe that date would 1966 and 76 were the two big storms.
I don't remember that. But
Okay.
yeah, now that you put it all together,
That was our full circle.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
So this was actually the last recorded sighting of the Nain Rouge.
Okay. Do we have like a artist sketch, a rendering?
Oh yeah, you can find him everywhere. He's exactly what you think he would look like, just a little devil, pretty much. So there is a group of people that believe the Nain Rouge was just misunderstood.
Is there a Nain Rouge festival?
Yeah, there is.
I was going to say, I feel like that's a thing, like, because people have that for every person and every, but like, yeah, it's like pirates have them.
Yeah.
And like, anyway.
We'll get to the name.
You're about
Yeah,
to say, okay.
we'll get to the Marche du Nain Rouge.
Okay.
It's this Sunday.
Oh, like, not
Like
today.
Like a week from now.
Okay.
Yeah. From recording. So there's a group of people that believe that the Nain Rouge is just misunderstood. So according to Nain enthusiasts and self-proclaimed
Naniacs?
they should be the Naniacs.
Yeah, they should.
Oh my gosh, I can just see that, like the Warner Brothers logo with the Animaniacs, except they all have red faces and like a beard and like horns and shit.
Yeah.
That would be great. We need to whip that up real quick, and then we're going this Sunday.
We'll just sell shirts. Yeah.
So the Nain enthusiast and self-proclaimed anomalistic researcher and
Okay.
paranormal contributor to Unsolved Mysteries. His name is John Ely Tenney. He says that the Red Daemon has unjustly earned a bad rap. He has proposed that the Nain Rouge is actually here to warn people of upcoming misfortunes, and that is why the Nain Rouge is spotted before all of these disasters.
He's like the upside down penny.
Yeah.
It's
Find a
not
penny.
evil. It's just bad luck or whatever.
Yeah.
A sign of
yeah.
bad luck.
It's a correlation, not causation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Nain Rouge's reputation has been crafted into the warped version by white European settlers.
White men?
Yeah, because we're going to get to it. So Tenney also defends this stance by adding that being nice to the Nain Rouge is also simply a matter of neighborliness. Quote, "The Nain has been a resident of Detroit for longer than any of us, and the spirit of the Nain will continue long after we're gone."
Okay.
So the two groups now meet at the same event every year around the vernal equinox in the city of Detroit, the Marche du Nain Rouge, which, according to event organizers, has taken place over the last 300 years, but is actually just some drunken idea from a couple of locals, Francis Grunow and Joe Uhl, in 2009 to create the...
Joe Uhl?
Yeah, U-H-L?
Yule?
Yule? Joe Yule?
Yule, yeah.
Sure.
I golf with some Yules.
Of course, Jesus.
Not those ones. Maybe. I don't know.
Ask him
I was
next
gonna say
time.
Joe Uhl. What did he? Was he Joe Cool? And he's like, "Fuck this! I'm dropping the C. I will be Joe Uhl, so I don't get all those. Hey, Joe Cool. Anyway,
No. I mean, maybe.
yeah.
So anyway, they came up with this idea in 2009 to create a Detroit-style Mardi Gras-like event. So it now draws crowds of 5,000 up to 7,000 people, all dressed in costume, from like simple to silly Halloween-esque costumes like a strip of bacon to outlandish fairy tale cosplay, and some
Where did this strip of bacon come from?
just like random. Like, no, I was reading an article where some guy was at it, and he was
Okay.
like, "There's a dude dressed in it as a bacon, and I don't get it."
Yeah.
Because they dress as everything.
Okay.
We'll get to it.
I thought you're like,
No, but it was just an example. It was an example that was used, like a real life. This person
Yeah.
saw it, like,
okay.
be like dressing up as like Chucky or whatever.
I'd want to dress up as Putty from Seinfeld. It's an obscenely obscure reference. No? He was a New Jersey Devils fan, and he goes to, like, a game with like red faced and like devil thing in his devil jersey.
People go as the Nain Rouge.
To Devils games?
No, to this.
To that? Yeah,
Yes.
no, but it would be a very obscure. I'd want to do red face with the New Jersey
With the
Devil.
okay,
Yeah.
and see if anybody got it. They'd
See
be
if
like, "This is
anybody gets-
Detroit guy.
Yeah.
Get out of here."
Somebody would get it.
Yeah. So anyway, people dress up crazy. Some people dress as the Nain Rouge himself, and all this is to the point of dressing up in costume is to hide your identity from the Nain Rouge, who may seek who may seek revenge throughout the year.
Okay.
So there are elaborate floats, marching brass bands. And that year's selected Nain Rouge, he gets put on a palanquin, and he just as outrageous as the rest of the parade. Like one year, he was escorted atop a fire-breathing dragon.
That sounds fun / dangerous.
Yes.
The best kind of fun.
Yes. So the parade ends at the...
As we almost set our kitchen on fire today.
Look,
So
you were like, help me cook. And I was like, okay. And then caused a little grease fire.
it's like, can you just move the oil around, like coat the oil or pan in the oil? Just literally move it like 4 degrees in each direction.
And I
look over
just
and
a
there's
skosh over
there's-
the edge.
There's flames coming out of our electric stove. There was no open flame to start with. Luckily, Google came through and we salted it to death. We pretty much performed a seance here tonight. Salt circles,
Fire.
open fires, yes. Animal sacrifice. That's just dinner. Did we cook meat?
Oh, yeah. I was about to say, I'm pretty sure all of our animals are accounted for, sir.
I mean, that was only for asparagus, but still, that was part of the meal.
At least you think I'm pretty, right? I'm good.
It's a good story to tell. And remind me to buy more of those things that go underneath the burners since we burned a hole through that one.
No, I put a hole in it.
It did, yes.
Oh, no.
Straight through it.
Google needs to answer questions faster.
Yeah. Well, you're like, where's my phone? I need to Google this. I was like, I'm about to go get a fire extinguisher, but yeah.
Oh, no. Where was I? Oh, no.
Fire-breathing dragon.
Yes, the fire-breathing dragon.
Also known as Kenmore out there.
So the parade ends at the Masonic Temple, where that year's Nain Rouge, dressed in the full Nain Rouge effect, he gives a speech threatening to bring disaster to the city, but he's jeered at and chased away by the locals to chase the Nain Rouge out of the city to protect the city for another year.
Symbolically, yes.
Yep. So, and then an effigy of the Nain Rouge is also burned.
Okay.
Because why not?
Fire. More fire.
We love fire. At least it's not a couch.
Right? Yeah. If it was in East Lansing instead of Detroit.
It would be a couch.
Yes.
So initially the parade was made up of Nain Rouge haters, but then Tenny, the aforementioned anomalistic researcher,
Okay.
he showed up as the first singular, only one, pro-Nain Rouge counter to the parade.
Okay.
Now, like 10 years later, there's there's a small contingent of people that show up on the sidelines of the march.
Pro-Nain faction.
Yes, yep, there's a pro-Nain faction. So they hold Nain positive signs that read like "Stop Nain Shame" and "Nain is nice" and "Don't dread the red."
Don't dread the red.
Yes.
Those signs can be used at at middle schools too.
Oh. No.
Just positive after
It's normal.
in support. Yes. Yeah.
Here in solidarity. Just a white dude standing outside of middle school holding a sign. No.
That's a really good way to embarrass a child.
Or go to jail,
Well,
one or the
yeah,
other.
yeah.
Have our house like searched and just take the computer,
Yep.
find the podcast. We're
Right.
screwed.
They're going to reference minute 20 whatever of this episode.
So Tenny argues that the Nain is actually a benevolent being. He's only there to try to warn us. So he warns against behaving like Antoine de la Mothe Cadillac, who's the first selfish asshole who started this entire curse by,
Bunch of slumlords at the festival anyway.
No.
It's a joke. I meant like they're not all there doing what he did.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I was going to say, no, actually, like, locals show
Yeah,
up.
no, I know.
Most slumlords are not locals. Anyway, I hated selling real estate. So, just a side note, don't do it. It's awful. So, he also argues that we should all identify more with the Nain Rouge, who they believe the origin, like, roughly, he did a whole big, like, research into
dive
it.
into
Yes.
it?
And so he argues that, oh my gosh, I lost my spot. Okay.
Oh, no.
Nope.
What did he argue?
Okay. He argues that it's thought that the lore of the Nain Rouge is a combination of Native American lore regarding spirits in the region, such as an impish offspring of a stone god, or a shape-shifting trickster / like guardian / protector named the Nanabohozo.
Sorry, what was that?
It's all going to sound really horrible no matter how I try to say it.
The
Because
Nana
English,
Bozo doesn't sound good at all.
No.
What's your grandma's name? Nana Bozo?
Look, no, it's a name. Don't make fun of the.
No, the way you said it. I'll try it.
This one. There's an H in it.
Nana Bozo. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'll sign off on that.
Anyway, he is an alleged guardian and protector of the region, according to the Algonquin folklore.
Okay.
So that's native folklore.
Yep.
Also combined with the French lore of the Luton, which is the shape-shifting hobgoblin accidentally brought over.
Who doesn't love a good hobgoblin?
So he was accidentally brought over by settlers coming to the New World. So they think these two lores mixed together as the French and Native Americans integrated their life together, and these sort of things combined created the lore of the Nain Rouge, which is French for red dwarf.
I was going to ask what Nain meant. Rouge, I was pretty good on.
Remember that one from high school?
From Mulan? Yeah.
Moulin Rouge, not Mulan. Like,
yeah.
Disney.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Very big difference.
Smash.
One's like a childhood, the other one's a sex worker movie. It's fine.
Yeah.
Or you've got all this nice lore. There's also an alternative to it, that the entire lore of the Nain Rouge is an allegory for driving Native Americans out of the region, making sure to demonize the very concept of the Native Americans as human and in the form of a red-skinned imp that brings bad luck and misfortune to the white people. And
like twisting their views on like religion and spirituality and all that stuff. Yeah. Well, you gotta have that little racial undertone there.
Yeah, this is America. That's what we're built on.
17 or whatever. Yeah, that's probably very much.
Yeah. So there's a lot of like undercurrent, so that kind of like a little bit like a negative, but it's just like everything else. It can evolve and become something a little bit more positive,
Yeah.
So either way, the modern day legend has grown into like this big concept that's, that's celebrated with a march every year. And then the March Day Nain Rouge evolves bit by bit every year since its inception. Like, it literally was just a few, like, they advertised it by word of mouth, and then like a few hundred people showed up in the streets and was like, this is fucking awesome. Yeah, and now there's like marching bands and floats and like
fire-breathing
dragons and like, thousands of people showing up.
Yeah, it's goddamn Tri-Wizard Cup.
Yeah, pretty much. So this year actually marks the 11th annual parade. It's going to be held on March 20th, 2022.
Okay.
So you can dress up, bring your dog, because it is a dog-friendly event.
Terrific. Yes. I was wondering.
And Bella would make the cutest. We could get her dyed, like, with the animal safe. No? Okay. So whether...
I mean, you have the hair dye that color. You just put some more in your hair.
No. It's not animal safe.
Says the animal who put it on her head.
Yeah, I don't care what goes on me. The dog has no choice in the matter.
Right.
So, show up, celebrate, whether you are pro or anti Nain Rouge. And you can go to marchdunainrouge.com to register like your crew if you wanted to be in it. You can donate to it because it's a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Or you can like sponsor. You can also register taunts if you didn't want to be there in person. So you can literally like write a list of taunts. You can just there's like 10 spots where you can write something, and then they're like, if you have more, just start the form all over again and keep submitting them, that you can have other people like hurl these taints. These taints? These taints. Going to hurl these taints.
How much do you have to pay to have someone hurl a taint for you?
Nothing, it's free.
Oh, good.
Taunts.
Oh, is that what you meant to say?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys, I went to college and everything.
Right.
Can you believe I've taken 2 communication college level communication
and
classes.
Neither one you hurled a taint. So weird.
One.
You were not prepared for this situation.
Oh no. That's it. We're starting all over again.
Right? Scratch this.
So, you can go there, you can register your taunts and have them cuss out the Nain Rouge for you.
There's a taint registration thing. You get like the little like what do they call it? Like bib thing you get when you go to like a 5K.
Oh, yeah.
It's for your taint though. It's just like a little sticker. I'm here to register my taint. Oh, look, I'm number 124 today. It's my lucky number.
I was thinking it could be 80085.
Stop.
No.
Boobs?
Yes. It's the only childish thing that I could come up with that was number
Instead of like
related.
69?
Yeah. Oh, that would have been better. You're
No.
right. This is why I write stories and you tell really dumb jokes.
Yeah, you're fine.
I'm not fine.
You're just gone back to like the calculators. Like, let me type it in and flip it over.
Exactly. I was
Yeah.
trying to find the childish as the only thing that came to mind.
Well, good.
So either way, how you celebrate it, you can end the day at the Detroit Beer Company, which created a Detroit dwarf lager in
Lager.
I don't drink beer either.
Is Budweiser a stout? Or whatever the fuck you said.
That really was. It was an IPA, and that was legit a joke, not because I was being an idiot.
They made a Nain Rouge lager. It's very popular.
To go with the Budweiser IPA.
They're a thriving, up-and-coming beer company.
Up and coming, the Detroit Beer
I
Company.
bet you it's an amber lager or whatever.
I don't know. Let's just go. We'll
Okay,
find out.
okay.
And there's a wine you can get too. Not from them. I didn't write
I
it
assume
down.
it's a red.
It is. It is a French red. It's a French red blend.
Oh, nice.
I didn't write down
How
the name of it
bougie.
though, because it's not at that company, so it doesn't matter.
We don't want to shout out multiple companies.
No. We already talked too much
So
about.
that's fun. I
other
didn't ever knew.
things.
I'd heard the term Nain Rouge, and I didn't know anything beyond that. Essentially,
Yeah, it's a fun one, and I accidentally timed it perfectly. That we're
Right?
recording this right before it.
If anyone wants to go, we'll drive.
Yeah,
You're buying the lagers. No,
damn it! I hate you so much right now.
I'm just excited for when Beth tweets at us about the lager. Anywho,
She's actually she's just inviting me down south, for her party.
to
just
pick on you?
Yes,
Yeah.
so they have somebody to pick on that's
Yeah.
not going to be mad about it. 'Cause
yeah. Do you have sources? I see.
I
Sources
do. I
if
have
you
a
do.
whole paragraph. So I used Wikipedia, and then I found an article written by Jessica Hester called "The Spirit After Life of Detroit's Little Red Demon," and then there's
Only in your state.
nope. I already knew about the Nain Rouge, so I didn't have to
That's true.
look for it. There's also the history of Detroit's infamous omen from wayne.edu, like the college. And then I used Michigan's otherside.com. And the Detroit Metro Times articles, the legend of Detroit's Nain Rouge.
Wow.
Yep.
Typo. Just kidding.
No, it was.
No, I know.
Yeah, it was. I know. I had to read through it twice. I'm like, is it though? And then there's also another article named "Everything You Need to Know About Detroit's Marche du Nain Rouge," which turns 10 this year. Both of those articles were by Lee DeVito.
Oh, Danny's kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing well. It's good.
And then
I was waiting for you to be like, really?
no, I knew that one was a joke. Fuck right off.
I'm gonna Google Lee DeVito. I'm just kidding.
What are the? I will be so mad if you Google it and he has a kid named Lee. Like that's it. We're done. Irish psychic over here.
Right.
And then I use the websites marchdunainrouge.com and nainrouge.weirdlecture.com, which is Tenny's website. And he has a ton of pre-1920s book sources. So if you really wanted to get to know the legend of the Nain Rouge, that all those goodies are there at your fingertips. And that's the Nain Rouge.
Okay.
It kind of fell apart there at the end.
No, it was good.
Was it?
I like when it falls apart.
Okay.
I think everyone that made it 30 whatever minutes in was expecting it to fall apart.
At some point.
Yes.
Look, I had two busies real quick before we recorded.
That's
so.
a good way to go about life.
Yep.
Anywho, if you made
Start
it this
your
far.
shift like that. Your work shift like that.
I said if you made it this far.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
I just take that as the only time you say congrats to me all week. Just kidding. See, you just said it fell.
He needs positive words of affirmation.
I do. And because you said it fell apart, I just wanted it to fall apart a little more.
Oh, thank you.
Anyway, look, I wrote down a title for this one.
I'm so proud of you. I
Thank
can't
you.
even read it.
I know, I wrote it almost left-handed.
Okay.
So anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for your podcasting.
Yeah.
Thanks for your support.
Yep.
Or your hate. I don't care. You're allowed to have your own opinions.
We've become jaded enough that we don't give two shits.
Correct.
Doing this for each other.
This is, yes, a hobby in its purest
And then
form.
all of you weird voyeuristic people just keep listening in on it.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah.
If you want to listen to more, we have ones on the Patreon. Bonus episodes. I write them. They're not so terrible, but they're very interesting.
And then you get to listen to my brand of humor, which
You
isn't
do.
good.
And you get to listen to
I'm
me.
not selling this.
I read monotone. No, just kidding. Anyway, thanks for listening. Check out all our stuff. Follow us on all our things.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Oof, that was terrible. Thanks for listening to our terrible podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, or wherever you like to listen. Feel free to follow us on Twitter at TMSTPod.
And if you'd like to support the show, you can find us on Patreon at Tell Me Something Terrible.